Hello and welcome to the TagIn Podcast. I am Michael,
And I am Lincoln. Hello.
and he did not go out on Tuesday night, get drunk, and then get a hangover for Wednesday. He did not, because it's currently Tuesday night, like last week.
I actually just had a stomach bug.
Nope. You had a hangover from drinking the whole night before.
Yep, that's definitely something I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just
Totally.
a wild party animal, and it was awful. I mean,
It was awful. Excellent.
it was. I mean, party on. I mean,
I can't remember any of it.
it's like a.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I played some Kerbal Space Programs, blew up a through chess projects. I mean, it was a wild night.
Okay, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, what have I been playing this week? This week I've been playing Metro Last Light, which is amazing. I have never been so utterly intrigued by a game. Probably since Bioshock Infinite, I haven't really been this intrigued by a game. It's really good, just the storytelling, and so it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic Russia, and you've got kind of the Reds, which
The Soviet Union.
Yeah,
Collapsed Soviet Union.
which are very segregated. They're all really segregated, actually. Just one of them is particularly very much like Hitler, like a perfect race type thing. But the whole idea is that there's these like dark ones, and the main character Artyom has the ability to speak with the dark ones, which no one has been able to do for years. So the whole adventure, he's trying to get through this like underground city. He gets captured a few times, and then escape, and then eventually try and find the dark ones, which is the whole idea about the game. But it's really cool because people you meet along the way, and the way people have been affected by like a post-apocalyptic society where it's based a lot of trade, and there's a few like just funny jokes in there. Like there was a contained city, and there was at a market, and there's this guy trying to sell fish, and he was like, it's fresh, and then he'd keep looking down, and it'd just be these cans and cans of like preserved fish. He's like, it's fresh, it's really fresh. I mean, look, it's the best caught today, and you just look at me like, these cans are rusty. I doubt this very much, and just like the NPCs as well are really cool, like just buskers, and you just go up to random people and just listen to them play guitar for a while. Yeah, it's really cool.
So it's like it's got a lot of characterization of the scenery done by the people.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really good storyline. I don't think I can say anything else with it giving it away. But yeah, have I been playing anything else?
A way that we could do this is check our recent played games on Steam, if we ever forget.
That's true. I'm actually not using my main computer today, which is probably why I'm not logged in.
So I've been playing. I haven't been playing F1.
You haven't been playing F1? That's like your game. That's.
I rage quit after that thing, and I haven't played it since. I've been playing a bit of Minecraft. I've been making a village on top of a mountain. It's recognized by the game as an actual village at this point, and I finished it. And then I went, I should make another village, and be like, well, this is a world with a number of villages. And I'll use the Nether for a train station, so it would transport the village. You transport the player as they roam. Problem, my Nether bugged out, and all the Nether portals decided to link up to the same one in the Nether. Which is a major problem, because it means that I walk out of the portal in the Nether, and then I walk back into that same portal, and I get to the original village. It doesn't matter where I was. So that's annoying. But I may post pictures of the village I've been working on.
That was actually quite funny because Michael jumped on Facebook and he's like, it's like I've created another portal that and I keep just like looping. And I'm like, what? How does that happen? How does?
It's called Minecraft being stupid. Other things I have been playing. I haven't been playing many games this week actually. Just that stuff.
I've been
I
waiting.
opened up Arma 2 to try and do bushwalking in Arma 2. For some reason, I wanted a bushwalking simulator. Don't know why. I have no idea why I wanted a bushwalking simulator, but I did. It wasn't really. I didn't actually do anything really. I played a little bit of Dev Tycoon, but only a little tiny bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I forgot to mention, but I haven't played it yet. Is I bought Deadpool, which I was really excited about, but the download was been taking a while. So I'll probably talk about that next week.
Hang on. You don't download F1, but you download Deadpool.
I'm waiting to get F1.
Why are you waiting?
I'm waiting till I was gonna see if it was in the city because I'm going to the city on Friday.
It's probably not on sale anymore.
It might be.
I doubt it.
Could be.
It looks like the sale is still going on. Yes, it is still $36. No, it is still $28 at EB, if you can find it.
That's the problem, finding it. It seems
Yeah,
much
well,
a popular game.
it isn't a popular game, so it's a very hard game to play. That's why we're making Link play it. So, Minecraft 1.6 got released this week.
That's pretty amazing. What's in that new update?
The new update has horses. It's the horse update.
Ah, yes. Wow. Is this an element that you particularly you like, or?
What, the fact that they put an actual transport option in? It's fine, it doesn't really matter, it's a good system. So the changes in 1.6 added horses, added donkeys, mules, added horse armor, added leads, these are now the more fancy stuff, added leads was horses, right? Added carpets, so you now have woolen carpets instead of doing woolen blocks of carpets. Added hardened clay and stained clay. Added block of coal, so you have storage blocks for coal now, yay! Added name tags for items, and added hay bales.
Whoa, it brings an entirely new launcher, so you actually have to download it from the site again.
Yeah, the launcher's new one too, yeah. Also, they removed Terrabine. Another thing, you can't destroy blocks with a sword in creative mode. That is the best update ever.
Oh, people would be kind of just hitting it with swords and be like, no.
Yeah, well, your whole map destroyed if you had to kill something, so... Yes. In order to get this update, you need to download the new Minecraft launcher. The new Minecraft launcher is pretty cool. It allows you to go back to previous versions.
Wow, that's cool.
And you can just enable snapshots in the launcher itself, which is really cool.
Added donkeys, mules, horse armor, horses, carpets, leads. Yep, you already said it, yep.
And also a donkey or mule is really cool because you can put a chest on them, and then they turn into a walkable inventory.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, that is really
Does
cool.
it follow you? Can you get it to follow you?
If you have a lead, yes it will, or you can ride it.
Right.
Which is pretty cool, and
it's
pretty.
Do you make armor for your horse as well?
No, you have to find the armor.
Ah.
You have to find the armor and the saddles in dungeons, or mine shafts.
Huh.
Or I think blacksmiths may have them.
How did that type of stuff get in a dungeon? Or
How did... Remember, there was once a time when cocoa beans were only able to be got from a dungeon. There was once a time when cocoa beans didn't actually exist, but the cocoa beans could actually be collected from dungeons.
It was just this mysterious magician who disappeared underground and created this random conspiracy where it would just go around and conjure cocoa beans and put them in chests. I'd believe that. I'd believe that.
If you check your Skype, I just shared a link with you before.
Yes, yeah, the one about browser usage.
Yes. What is the most popular web browser in each country in the world? It's mostly Chrome.
Oh.
And I like how in Greenland, it's Internet Explorer. How many computers are there in Greenland? Not to offend Greenland, but how many computers?
It's pretty crazy.
I'm pretty sure the government would probably run most of the computers in Greenland.
I used to know so many people that used Internet Explorer, but then suddenly, it's pretty much roundabout as soon as Chrome got released, a lot of people just switched straight over. As soon as I heard that Chrome existed, I switched straight over. Which was I think must have been to 2010. 2010.
Yeah, it was ages ago, and Chrome went through so many early iterations. During early development, they released a web browser. It wasn't very good, but it was available to the public. And then they just kept building and building and building. By Chrome 4.0, it was amazing. What are we up to now? Hang on. We're up to Chrome 28.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
I'm also running the beta version of Chrome.
Really? Dedication.
Yeah. Yeah. When it stops freezing my computer, I'll be happy, but... yeah.
If you had to be solely dedicated to, one company for, the rest of your life, would it be Google?
Probably wouldn't be Google. If I had to... I don't think that's even possible. Because Chrome OS isn't very good. You would need at least Linux.
Okay, alright, maybe
you couldn't use computers.
Maybe pair if you pair a developer company or with an OS company. So say if you had Android and
Hang on, I'm confused.
person creates Android. Wait. It's a more complicated question than I first thought.
So I got a new phone on Sunday.
Oh wow, what'd you get?
A Huawei. It was $40 from Kohl's. It was $40, and it runs about 10 billion times better than my old phone. It has a really good camera on it. Has Wi-Fi hotspot, running Android 4.0. It does pretty good, except for it doesn't have enough RAM to run games on, but that's okay. Yeah. And I also downloaded this app, which is for cycling.
Did you say it was $40?
$40, yes.
Wow, that's really cheap.
And yeah, so I downloaded this app for cycling, and I can tell you that my morning ride took me 13 minutes and 58 seconds. I averaged a speed of 23 kilometers per hour, and my top speed was 40.3 kilometers per hour.
That's surprisingly fast.
And the other cool thing about this is it compares you with other people. So it has data of how fast people were moving at at particular points, and it's really cool. I'm pretty bad compared to other people, but it's really, really cool to have all this data. And on some parts, you can actually go in and check, segments. People define segments, and I'm ranked 280th 187 out of 316 cyclists on one segment. It's really cool. I really like it, and I'm going to keep using it. Also, my phone's battery, runs out. It doesn't run out very quickly at all, which is great. This is 10 billion times better than my other phone. I want to blow the other phone up.
Literally blow it up?
Yes.
Wow.
Do you think I could engineer a sparkler bomb to fit in the battery case? Take the battery out, of course. Taking the battery out, because that would just be stupid.
Okay.
And just put
I think that's doable.
Put a sparkler in there, seal it up, put a fuse, and then blow it up.
I think it would probably be legitimately safer just to barbecue it.
And for some reason, no, it'd be plenty far away. And for some reason, I also think that my old phone will still work after I blow up the insides with the sparkler bomb.
But circuit board.
It's one circuit board.
Wait, what type of phone did you have? I thought you had
a really terrible.
It looked like a PDA of some kind.
What?
It had the appearance of a PDA. It reminded me of PDA.
I can't remember what a PDA even looks like.
With the touch and the stylus and the...
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It had a stylus. It was a phone with a stylus. That's the only thing I miss with my new phone.
A stylus?
Yeah, except for I have the Google keyboard, so I can swipe type anyway, which is faster. Yeah.
It's really weird that I use my phone less as a phone than I've ever used it before, which I guess is the whole aim of mobile-based computing. To use your phone less as a phone than ever before.
I use it to check Facebook.
Yeah, I do the same. I'm surprised,
and that's about it.
For $40, that sounds like a pretty awesome phone.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing phone for $40. It doesn't have much power under the hood, but it works. And it's got condensation on it because I only just came back from my bike ride. It works. It's actually been a horrible day. The forecast of today was clouds gathering.
Clouds gathering.
And by the time the fog lifted, it was cloudy. Canberra fog stays for so long. It's so stupid.
I think I've only been to Canberra once for 2 days, so I'm not entirely aware of it. I think I was 11, so I probably...
Yeah, you probably don't remember a thing. Yeah. Although I went to the snow when I was around that age, and I remember it being warmer than I expected. I haven't actually checked through any of my news today. Also, with the new Minecraft update, if you call an egg, a spawner egg, if you rename it with the anvil to Dinnerbone, it will spawn the creature upside down.
That's pretty awesome. Oh, did I tell you, so over about a period of about 4 months, me and a friend at uni have been helping a PhD student with a direction app for QT, and it's just been released, I think, yesterday on the App Store. I think it's called possibly QT Nav.
Hang on, App Store or Android?
Sorry,
Store?
iOS App Store.
iOS.
It's only on iOS at the moment.
Why would you develop something for iOS?
It's because it's complicated. I don't know. I think he's trialing it on iOS and then seeing how that goes, and then
why would you trial it on iOS?
I don't know. Well, but
it's harder to get onto iOS.
But yeah. So the reason I brought it up was because I was thinking about Easter eggs, cool stuff you can do with things. And he's got this thing where if you pull up the top of the side tab, where you select just features the applications, a profile and stuff. If you slide it down, it'll actually pop up with a quote, and the quote will randomize, and it'll be something about like directioning or navigation, and it's really cool. Like, because it's always random, and you don't really see it unless you're like looking for the Easter egg, because you wouldn't go past like the top part of the menu unless you knew about it.
Unless you're like me.
So I thought it was really cool. So yeah, if you built an application, like, what type would do you have like an idea of what type of Easter egg you put in it?
Not really. I'm not one for Easter eggs.
I've always been a really big fan of them.
They're always really, really cool, but like I'm not one to put them in my own work, because unless you have like, you should never plan an Easter egg. It should just be like, oh, this is a cool idea, and you do it.
Yeah.
I remember back in school there was one group who they're like, oh, we're gonna plan out this whole big Easter egg puzzle, which if you walk off the screen in this specific spot, you would go to the Black Pearl and Captain Jack Sparrow will welcome you and all that jazz. So they did that, and they did that really, really well. The rest of the game was very buggy. It's like, well, guys, come on. You were meant to be planning the rest of the game, not your Easter egg.
I guess as long as you don't spend too much time on the Easter egg.
You should do it in your own time, at least. Like, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm hungry. Yeah.
That was really random. It's like, I am hungry.
I am very hungry.
I am an iguana.
I've been dieting the last couple of weeks. So I've been like having salad instead of chips, which has been working out great. I've lost like 8 kilos in 3 weeks.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
How are you finding the whole dieting thing?
It's kind of, yeah. Well, it's fine to swap salad for chips for salad. Like, that's easy. And I'm getting hungry for dinner now, so that's probably good.
Over the holidays,
Wow,
I got like really gung ho about my sleeping patterns, and I've been staying up way too late. But it meant that my eating pattern was been out of order, because if I wake up at 10 or 11, then my breakfast is more like my lunch. And it's just like, what?
Wow, I just looked up the power map of how much power I was using through my bike ride. That's awesome.
How do they measure power? Like,
well, a watt is a measurement of power, and you have calories, which is a measurement of how much energy is an energy measurement from the human body. You convert the calories. You do something very strange conversions between the calories, the speed, the acceleration, the elevation, and you find how many watts you're using. It's very complex, but...
Oh. Works. It works.
And also you can hook up a heart rate monitor into this thing.
That's really cool. At the beginning of this year, there was a really big buzz about just like general medical tech applications. It seems to have died down a little bit, but it's pretty cool. Like the amount of things that they had going at the time.
Well, recently it's been going. They've been looking at 3D printers and like printing organs.
Yeah. Well, there was a really big buzz about that because when I was really big into science when I was in high school, I went on in this science camp, and they took us around to like Griffith University, and they had a lecture about growing organs through stem cells and that type of thing. But then I don't think at the time with that they had any idea about the potential of 3D printers. But since then, that's kind of blasted off. The stuff we can do with that now is just crazy.
Well, stem cell research is still a big thing. The only problem is it's controversial because people are idiots and people don't realize that we can actually make a stem cell.
Yeah.
So cool thing about stem cells is stem cells mean that it's a default cell. No cell in your body is a default cell. It's all linked to something. I'm explaining this for the audience. I'm not explaining it to you, Lincoln. Don't worry. I don't think you're this stupid.
Well, no. Well, the thing about a stem cell is it's pretty cool because it doesn't yet have like, it's like a teenager who yet hasn't decided a career. It doesn't know what it wants to be yet. It could be a heart cell, it could be a brain cell, it could be an anything cell. So.
And if it's placed near something, it will grow. It will become that cell. Pretty sure that's how it works.
I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, but we're not entirely scientists, so.
Yeah. But the cool thing is, you can take skin cells, live skin cells, not dead ones, and you can turn off the fact that they're skin, because skin is also one of the most simple organs in the body. You can turn off the fact that they're skin, and then all of a sudden you have a stem cell. It's a artificial stem cell, but it works just as well. You do not need to get stem cells from fetuses or umbilical cords. You don't need to do that.
Well,
although,
I mean, there was a pretty big debate about that when people thought that was the only way. They're like, stem cells, nope.
Yeah. Yep, bash up your microphone there.
Sorry, I knew I did it. I didn't mean to.
I'm just pointing it out just for the fact.
Oh.
Like last week, where you went drunk. Where you went out and got drunk, and I had to do a lone podcast.
Didn't even happen, man. Whatever, man.
It did happen.
I'm sorry for the erraticness of my internal organs. They will apologize to you at a later date once they evolve to have emotions and feelings and mouths.
I'd be quite scared if your internal organs get mouths, emotions, or feelings. I'd be quite scared.
Hey, well, you never know, I mean.
Like, did you volunteer for some stem cell research that went wrong?
You know, I don't know, Darwinian selection,
I think one of the best things would be to figure out how to make humans grow teeth. More teeth. More than just... Like... That would be hard, but it would be one of the best things.
Yeah, that gets really complicated.
Yeah, because
I think
bones aren't cells, are they?
No.
No, they're not cells themselves. They are made from cells. They're like cells. You have bone builder cells, and they build the bones. But bones themselves are not cells.
No.
They have cells in them, but they're not cells.
No.
So what you'd need to do is instruct your bone builder cells to build a bone, and you'd also need to instruct the muscle to retract.
That would be that's genetic modification though. That's like that's pretty crazy. I mean that's modifying like our genetic makeup. Because I mean that would be kind of like modifying the very thing that like builds us as human beings, because we've had this code that's dictated since we've kind of like, it's kind of like the wisdom teeth thing. We don't need those teeth because we don't eat as much raw meat. So we've evolved to not need them. Oh, I think it is raw meat and...
I thought it was we don't eat as much plants.
Oh, what is it? I think it was... Because raw meat was really tough.
It's also one of the, I think one of the major holes in evolution is like, how did something survive starting to eat on raw meat without the ability to eat on raw meat?
Huh?
You would have to implant the idea into the genetic makeup. I need to eat raw meat in 1,000 years. That is one of the major holes in the theory of evolution.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a combination of all those, like leaves, roots, nuts, and meats, which required more chewing power and involved an excessive wear of the teeth. And it's because
I don't have any wisdom teeth.
None at all. What you're trying to establish whether that means that makes you more evolved or less evolved?
I think it would make me more evolved.
It's having less.
If I don't have wisdom teeth at all, it means I'm more evolved. Because if it's the fact that you had these teeth because you needed to do this thing, but you no longer need to do this thing, therefore I would be more evolved.
Yes, sir. But yeah, so what I was saying, like, so what tells us which teeth to grow and, like, whether it's included in our cells, wouldn't that kind of be, like, that would be genetic modification, that would be.
Maybe the human body is about to evolutionize that, because teeth are only meant to last, like, 30 years. Something else we all have to remember. Well, it isn't even meant to last 30 years. A primitive human didn't have the lifespan that we do now. We have an amazing lifespan. So teeth themselves weren't meant to last. It weren't meant to last like 80 years if you lived to 90 and you lost your teeth by the time you were 10. They weren't meant to last 80 years.
No. Man, do you think about that sometimes? What it would be like if we only lived to 30? I mean, that would make us like past midlife.
I'm pretty sure we would not be going to uni if we only lived till 30.
No, I would just, I don't even know. Like, would you still finish high school if you only lived to 30?
Yeah, there probably wouldn't be high school.
No,
well, there would probably be high school for people who want to do medical. Which won't be as many people because there won't be as many people around. Yeah.
Like, but they'd have to cut down.
And also you would need to have children when you're like 15.
Yeah.
You would leave your parents and literally have children.
That would suck.
Because what, you're gonna leave your children alone when they're like 10? No, you want them to be at least a little bit mature. And considering males reach maturity at like 21 or something, it's like, yeah, I've got 9 years left of my life, and finally my brain working properly.
My brain's doing that whole thing where it's thinking properly and not saying idiot things. Yes.
There is one benefit of living to 30. You won't start getting shorter. Because you're constantly growing until you're 30, and when you're 30, you start to shrink.
My question is, does that apply to people who would have only lived to 30, or do the lines with that being different? Like,
I'm pretty sure it would, because that's when the body starts to decay. And we're talking about before where it was like diseases and other things like that, which were causing the human body to die very early. And so I'm pretty sure the body starts to decay itself when it's 30. I'm pretty sure if you live to 30, you would still grow as tall as you can be.
True.
Or would you actually feel like would you be an elder in society? I'm not sure. I think it's part evolution, part the fact that we don't have as many illnesses. And the illnesses that we do have, most of them we know how to cure it.
Man, this is a really trippy train of thought.
Oh well. What else is
yeah? Oh, you're almost finished your first semester.
First semester of second year. Woo.
Woo. And yours was 3 years, right?
Yeah, mine's 3 years, but the third year's part time.
Yep. Cool. Well, that means so we're both halfway through. Cool.
That's generally what's happens when you both do a 3-year degree and you both start at the same year.
Yeah.
Generally, by mid-year on the second year, you're both halfway through.
Yep, that's true.
I'm really hungry.
Oh, the past week, me and a mate have been learning a bit of like acoustic guitar. It's been a lot of fun. I'm mostly learning chords at the moment, but it's really good. Because one of the guitar that I got Christmas when I wanted to start learning harmonica. We can start a band.
Well, now you're actually learning an instrument that actually accompanies harmonica. This is actually possible. Before, when you were doing trumpet,
Well, I've been doing trumpet.
imagine
for a
a
very long
trumpet
time.
and harmonica band. Just imagine it.
It would be interesting. I don't think I don't think harmonica would be heard very easily amongst trumpet.
The harmonica would have an actual microphone, probably.
Probably, yeah.
Or you would have to just be really quiet.
I could do that.
What's that word in Latin?
Piano?
No, what's the word for being quiet?
Fortissimo. Fortissimo.
Let me try this. I have to do it really quietly because... Oh, actually, I'll turn my microphone right down for what I'm about to do. The difference is mine was an actual song.
Mine was a song. It was the beginning of a song. With,
Mine was in... What song did I just play?
I don't know actually.
Amazing Grace, because it's an easy song to do on the fly. And the harmonica doesn't even have to be warm, that's how easy it is. Yeah. But I did actually make a mistake, and if anyone can pick that up, good work.
No, mine was basically just chords.
Mine was chords too. Mine was chords. I don't want to do tongue blocking
Okay.
because I've been talking.
We just randomly introduced a musical element to our podcast.
Yes.
Okay, anarchy. Anarchy!
Is that really... Is that right? That is the right word to use.
Anarchy?
Anarchy. What does that word even mean?
Overthrowing government? I don't know, is it just disorder?
Well, you can search it, you know how to spell it.
A state of lawlessness or political disorder due to the absence of governmental authority. Open sanity. Oh, well, I just meant to talk like we usually talk about, like games and tech and stuff.
Can I say one thing?
Yes?
With the fact that Australia just changed PM again.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Can people realise that you don't vote for the Prime Minister, you vote for the party, and it's the party's policies are the ones that you're voting for? You're not voting for the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is just the face guy. The end.
So you're saying people shouldn't be concerned about the recent change in PM?
I reckon the fact that all of a sudden Labour's like 30% more popular is stupid. I'm not going pro-Labour or anti-Liberal or anti-Labour pro-Liberal, but it's just the fact that it's stupid that they changed their leader, but their policies remain the same, and all of a sudden they get this boost. It's like, that's wrong.
Well, something I've been annoyed with politics ever since I realized that even if I really do support some of the policies of the Greens, they just they don't go to the Greens. They go to the next majority. So we need everyone to support Greens for Greens to actually get into Parliament.
Oh yeah, but the more seats that a thing has, the more chance that the policy is going to be implemented. The problem with the Greens is they're also teamed up with Labour.
Yes, yeah.
That is the problem with the Greens.
I don't know, but if someone... Politics
as
is
seen,
just...
As seen when they said that they're joining... They said, oh, we're going to support the most stable party, and they chose Labour. It's like, hang on, Labour just had a leadership change. That isn't stable. Let's talk about politics, yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows Australian politics and everyone loves it.
Oh, I don't think anyone particularly loves it. That's a pretty.
No,
That's
no,
pretty.
I don't-
That's a pretty strong word. Even politicians are in medium like with it. They don't love it.
Another thing that happened was the pay rise freezing on the MPs in Queensland got revoked, and they all got like a $57,000 pay rise or something. I don't know if that was the entire figure, like everyone got like $1,000 and it's all up 57,000, or if everyone got a $57,000 pay rise. I'm pretty sure it would be the first one. Because it was unlawful to freeze pay rises of some of the highest income earners in Australia. Kind of makes sense, but kind of doesn't. Especially when the government makes the law. So, yeah.
So I just found myself on Popular Science again, and this is one article entitled "Human Head Transplants Getting Closer to Reality,"
I still think that's impossible.
which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, again, I'm still boycotting Popular Science.
Okay. Does that mean I shouldn't bring up Popular Science on this?
Well, you're allowed to.
Okay.
I'm just gonna continually say, fix your website so I can actually view your things directly from Facebook instead of having to try and find them on the Australian side or use a proxy. I think it's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. And what else has been going on with you this week? Like finishing up projects, gaming projects.
I'm finishing up one project, which needs to be presented tomorrow, which I'm not really looking forward to. Noises!
Sorry.
I'm keeping that in.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah. What have you been doing on your holidays besides from learning guitar?
I'm actually.
What were you doing last Tuesday night?
What I was doing last Tuesday night. So I decided to go out and help with that QT Nav thing. So I went into the city to help with that, and then I was walking around the campus doing that, and I'd fallen like just really sick from the cold. And I got home and I was feeling ill, so I tried to have I think I played games for a bit, and then I fell asleep. But I woke up in the middle of the night with like just a vomiting bug, and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I would just like. I don't know what happened. I must have eaten something that interfered with me, so that's what happened.
Can I just say you did not get sick from being cold?
Probably not. It was a combination of not eating something that agreed with me and yes, being in the cold.
No human has ever gotten sick from being in cold air, except for hypothermia, but that doesn't count.
True.
Because it's when you're like in a room or something and the air's circulating through air cons or heaters, something like that, or when you contact with something, but the air itself is really clean, unless it's really polluted. In that case, it isn't very clean, and you get brown lungs.
True.
Aren't you gonna love when that's a problem one day, where pollution levels get so high, which they probably won't because we're doing a lot to reduce carbon emissions now. But when they get to the level where it's like, oh, you have smoker's lungs, and it's like, but I don't smoke.
I think we'll.
No, that's just the atmosphere.
I think that's pretty crazy when you think about it that way. But I think that like people will eventually just go underground, and that's our best option, really. Like we have pretty advanced systems designed for like tunnels and things like that cycle air.
That'd be really, really, really apart from like if we managed to transfer the energy from coal in Australia, because most of our energy still comes from coal, transfer it away from coal, so at least 50% of the grid is free from coal. Then you take every city, you take them underground, but you have super fast elevators to get them to the surface. You then can walk around the surface. The surface could be a maintained park or something, or farms. Like farms could be on the surface, and then all of a sudden you have all this farm space again. Problem is, you can't destroy a city at this stage. Cities are too advanced. And unless you started building underground cities and was like, we're putting this much funding in, we want this many people to actually move there. Also, the other hard thing is it's hard to expand an underground city unless you drill an entire underground bunker again. What would we call an underground building?
Underground metropolis?
No, that would be the city.
Rapture? Can we call it Rapture?
No. The definition of rapture, it's still going to affect you even if you're underground.
Okay. We would...
That involves an asteroid shower. So...
I don't know, I think it's some type of wordplay on core or levels or underground or
subterranean tower. That is probably the best description.
Because you dig down and then you build up.
Yes, probably, yeah.
Because you wouldn't...
And you'd leave 10 meters of dirt at the surface. Where would we put all the extra dirt?
I don't even know.
Just put a in the Gulf. I can't remember what it's called.
That would be
Gulf in between Northern Territory and tip of New South Wales, tip of North Queensland. Just fill that whole thing in, and then put that as farming as well.
I was just thinking that'd be the first thing we create, a way to deal with our mess. So what we do is we dig down and make sure that that there's nothing wrong with the air underground, and then just send dirt up onto the surface, so we'd never have to go on the surface again. So it would just be this giant not a vacuum. What's the word? Suction. It would just suck everything up to the surface and then just spit it out.
I think that would be
Suction.
A terrible way to do it. Absolutely horrible.
It'd be cool though.
Because humans, I would, if I had to live underground, I would still like the option to go up and have sunlight.
Why can't you just have a giant sunlight that you open the times of daylight, so it filters on the main cities?
I actually designed something like that in German, of all things, where it was a skylight, and it had reflective panels, and what it would do is just reflect the sun's light. And it would just reflect it down and down and down, and every so often it will shoot off into a room or something.
Wow, you designed that?
I designed it. I didn't actually design it practically. I designed it being this could be a way that you could do it. Because I had to design a house. So I had a garage, and then I had this little hut thing, and you went into the hut, and you went underground, because underground's really good for insulation. Insulation would be another brilliant thing. It'd be a lot easier to insulate on the ground. Your biggest problem is going to be the filters, because if you have 200 people living in this tower underground and 200 people are breathing through air filters, you need to make sure those air filters are cleaned really well.
That you'd have a lot of money and stuff spent on maintenance. You just have people that their job would be maintenance in the city, so.
But you'd also need people to maintain the outside. If the outside's going to be one giant park. Yeah. But that would be cool, that'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
As long as I had access to the outside, I would be happy.
Well, you just keep the whole level as recreation. So the whole top level would have an area that would part and open, that would have a glass roof that's contained. And then in each quadrant of the underground city, you would have some type of elevator to go directly to that top level, and that top level would be recreation purely.
No, I want to go outside.
You want to go outside?
I want to go outside.
No, but I thought we were living in a world that the air isn't pure enough to go outside.
Well, the air would be pure enough because all of a sudden we're underground, and to be underground. Also, no, I said at the start, oh, we're reducing our carbon footprint
Okay.
by megatons. So, like, yeah. And I think that would be cool. You would have to, like, start doing it now and eventually make big cities a ghost town and actually have big cities underground near them. The other problem is it wouldn't work for a very large portion of Queensland and Northern Territory because there's a basin there. There's a water basin. So, yeah. We've been going for 50 minutes.
We have been going for quite a while.
Yes, we should probably pack up now.
Okay. Yeah, well,
Okay, so...
yeah, well, we hope you enjoyed this podcast. It was quite kind of a fun experience. A lot of talking about organs and evolution and things like that. Yeah, we hope you have a really good week. Questions, comments, queries, add it on the end of this podcast. We're always happy to talk to anyone. It'd be awesome. Yeah, I'll hand over to Michael.
So, like, sharing, commenting, all of that does really well for our podcast. You can find our podcast at, if you haven't found it already at there, taginpodcast.blogspot.com.au. You can email us at taginpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, so I'm also going to try something new. I'm also going to try to port just the audio of this podcast to YouTube, which is going to be interesting. So we have YouTube people from YouTube also possibly seeing this. And I'm also going to... Yeah. Oh, also the player for our podcast is still working even though Google Reader's down. Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to keep using that until it stops working. And then we're going to panic and be like, oh no! Okay. M29 signing out.
Link signing out.